So today I wanted to just come and share a little bit about why we decided to do a parasite cleanse and what is the importance of doing these cleanses. So you may have heard us speak about this for a little while now, but the way we've lived our life for quite a few years is we have focused a lot on heavy metal detox, on living as close to source as we can. So that will include things like our water. So for many years we drank distilled water. Tap water contains so many nasties that you do not want to put in your body, whether that is things like fluoride, xenoestrogens, birth control. There is so much in tap water that you do not want to be putting into your body. It does not hydrate you, it dehydrates you. You've then got like bottled water, and even if bottled water is fluoride free, which is great, we used to drink fluoride free bottled water, you have the process where often bottles are plastic, water is warm, they pour the warm water into the bottle. What do you think that then releases? The chemicals in the plastic, and then that's sitting in the water. You then have that water sitting there for years and years sometimes. Water is not supposed to be stagnant. It is supposed to be continuously moving. So we did go over to a distiller, which was great, and we used to remineralize it. We had a little Soleil solution, which is basically like pink Himalayan salt, and we used to put that into our water. We then moved on to we now have a Kanga machine. So a Kanga machine produces living structured water. So you have loads of different ranges on it, from very alkaline to very acidic, and you can use it not just for drinking, where you sit between pH 8.5 to 9.5, but you also can use it for cleaning, whether that's around your home. It takes over so many products that you would usually use for cleaning and home and body care. So we now have a Kanga machine and it's amazing. I absolutely love it. We take it around with us where we travel. It's really easy. It filters out all the nasties, and then it goes through, when it goes into the machine, it goes through an ionization process. So that wakes the water up. Think about if you've got like a lake or a river. If the water stays still, you get all the green like moss growing in it, and it becomes like moldy water almost, because water is not supposed to be still. And that's the same for the water that goes into our bodies. So that was something we always focused on. We also many years ago changed our toothpaste, so we were no longer using fluoride toothpaste. Again, there are toothpastes out there that are fluoride free but still aren't the best, so it is really important to do your research. I'm now on my third fluoride free toothpaste, and this is probably the one that I love the most. So toothpaste is another big thing. You use that all the time. You then have things like around your home, all the fragrances. I used to love diffusers and perfumed candles and perfume. I cannot walk past even a shop now without needing to like hold my nose, because I get a headache just from the smells. Even if we go out for like dinner and people are wearing really strong perfume, it makes it so difficult to be around. So I've gone from being a woman who would spray perfume continuously, like I cannot even tell you, I used to spray perfume all the time on me, constantly, to now not using any. I don't own any perfume, I haven't for years, and honestly it was the best thing that I did. Also for a woman coming off birth control, that's something that I came off probably around 10 years ago or so now. That also messes with your hormones, it messes with your body's processes so much. Detoxing from birth control and getting your body in sync with the natural rhythm that a woman should have is so important. You then have things like clothes. So I wear very, I would say, basic, simple clothes because I look for cotton clothes. it is so difficult, especially when it comes to the gym. I see online now, you have all these gym women that their bodies look great and they're going to the gym all the time and they're speaking about eating healthy, but they're covering their body in polyester. Your skin is the largest organ in your body. And if you are wearing clothes, the same as like the body products you're putting on, the moisturizers, if you are wearing clothes or putting the products on that contain these chemicals, they are going straight into your skin. They are going straight into your bloodstream. It doesn't matter what food you're eating. It doesn't matter how much you move your body. All of it needs to be incorporated. So that was also another thing, really having a clear out of clothes. And I even see it now. I'll be walking around and I will see women in really, really nice clothes and I'm like, oh wow. I go and find it, like I see it then in a shop and I'm like, amazing. Have a look, polyester. Have a look, it's that modal. When you do some research into what those chemicals are, you will decide, hopefully, to not be wearing them anymore. It does take a sacrifice and it's not easy because not all the clothes, but a lot of the clothes, especially that you see in the general shops, in shopping centres and online and the popular brands, they are not cotton. Or they will say that they're cotton. You look on the label and it's like 20% cotton. It's crazy actually. It is absolutely mind-blowing how marketing happens and things like that. So anyway, clothes, that was another thing. Bedding. What bedding are you sleeping in? A lot of bedding nowadays is polyester. And so looking for a really high quality cotton and reading the label, because I tell you now, you'll look on the label, it will say it's cotton and then it will say something like it's anti-allergy, and you look at what that really is and it's got chemicals added into it. So the cotton is then irrelevant because it then has these harmful chemicals that are going to disrupt so much of the body's natural processes. So I would say they were some of the big things. You then can look more externally as to like, what are you watching on the TV? What type of food? Obviously food's a massive thing. That will be something that I'll come into at another time. But seed oils. So much is cooked in things like rapeseed oil. I know in America, canola oil is a really big one. They should not be going into the body. They are causing dis-ease. They are going to cause inflammation in the body. They are going to cause like just so much to happen to the body's natural processes that they should not be going internally. Using things instead like coconut oil, grass-fed butter, ghee, extra virgin olive oil, as long as that's not at high temperature, because extra virgin olive oil cannot be cooked at high temperature. That can make it really dangerous for the body as well. So if you're cooking something low and slow, extra virgin olive oil in a dark bottle is amazing. But if you're cooking something at higher temperature, then you don't want to use things like extra virgin olive oil. So yeah, obviously food's a massive thing. Packaged food, processed foods, things will say they're natural. You look at the actual ingredients and they're not natural. It has so much added in, natural colorings and just stuff that you want to avoid. Staying as close to root source as possible is so important. So that's been our journey now for many, many years, and of course, we've heard lots about Parasite cleanses. We fast regularly, so even just intermittent fasting, so sort of 16 to 18 hours of only water and then a shorter eating window. So it doesn't mean that you starve yourself. It doesn't mean you don't eat a good amount of food, but you just do it in a smaller window. That really gives the digestive system time to rest. You know, people speak about breakfast. Well, it's break fast. Doesn't mean you have to wake up in the morning and eat straight away. I personally feel that if you're, and I can speak about this from my own experience, that if you're waking up in the morning and you feel you need your coffee straight away, you need your tea with your sugar, you need your cereal or your toast or whatever it might be, that's your body speaking on the inside of what's happening. Something like candida, so many flies around and wasps, something like that in the body. your body should be able to go a long period of time with no food, and that takes training. Water is something different, but food, your body should be able to go a period of time without it. So if you're waking up, you know, people eat late into the evening. Your body goes through like 3 cycles throughout the day, and I'll write a little bit more about this in the description, but honouring those 3 cycles in the day, and really the best time to eat is between sort of 12 till 8 or 12 till the sun sets. Once the sun sets, you shouldn't be eating. Your body should be in natural rhythm with the sun. And of course in the winter that can be quite difficult because it can get dark from 4 o'clock. So there is going to be a little bit of a period of time where you are still eating when it's dark. But sticking to a schedule and a routine for your body is going to be really helpful when you're going through this process of wanting to get deep detoxing into the cells, into a lifetime of food and chemicals. It's even what's in the air now. Even if we are buying organic food, you've got what's being sprayed. Like, there is a lot that we don't have control over, even if we do go and buy higher quality foods. So you really have to choose the things that are in most alignment to you, and it's not a case of I've got to go in and I've got to do all of this. No, start one by one and start to build it. I would always say start with the water first, because our bodies are 70% water. We need water to live. We could go without food, but water, we need that for our body to keep living. So the reason for me telling you all of this is because before we even got into a parasite cleanse, we were already living in a way that was, we were detoxing, we were using regular saunas, we were dry brushing. That gets the lymph system moving. The lymph system is the only system in the body that doesn't work by itself. It doesn't have a pump, so you are the pump. You need to get your lymph system moving, and that can be through dry brushing, sauna, like jumping up and down, movement, walking, massage. There are so many things you can do to get the lymph system moving. But if you go into a detox or a cleanse and your lymph system isn't moving, you are not going to be detoxing any of that. Before you even think to go into a parasite cleanse, you need to make sure that you have the fundamentals in place, because you can get very unwell from it. That is just the reality of it if you're not doing this properly. And this is what like scares me so much. I see all these Instagram influencers or whatever you want to call them, and they've got hundreds of thousands of followers, and they're just like, buy this tincture, buy this parasite tincture, buy this, get rid of parasites, your children, you know, will speak again and they won't have cravings. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, you can't just do that. You need to do so many things, 1 in the lead up to it, and 2 whilst you're going through it. So when we started this cleanse, we're almost done with week 5 now. It's a 7-week cleanse. Week 1 was prepping the body. So even for us, doing years and years of prepping and cleansing and getting our body into a state of better homeostasis, we still took that week. We were going to do the first couple of weeks, but we decided just to do the first week. And then the final week is where we will have we'll almost be replenishing our body. So that means we're going to do 5 weeks of the deep parasite cleanse, and then a week for getting our body prepped, and a week for replenishing after. So so they're the things that I would suggest first for you to start with. Why did we decide we wanted to do a parasite cleanse? So on week 1, we incorporated, whilst we were prepping the body, is to do a candida cleanse. So candida, parasites, whatever you want to speak about, we all have them in our body. It doesn't really matter how well you look after yourself. Candida, for example, is something that we all have. Every single person has it. And it's like, whether it comes alive or not and starts to take over the body depends on our lifestyle. It depends on what we feed it. It depends on how much we're nourishing it. How are we nourishing our bodies? How are our stress levels? There are so many things to take into account. So candida is your body is just craving sugar. So you know, if you are having a lot of sugar cravings, if you're always wanting sweet things, so you can do a candida test. If you fill a glass of water, a glass with some water, a good amount of water in it, and first thing in the morning, before you brush your teeth, before you have a drink, you spit into the glass. And you can research this online and see how you do it yourself, but you will be able to see if sort of your spit sits at the top or if your spit's hanging down. And that will be able to show you if it's hanging down and it's dripping down, even just a little bit, then you have got like the candida is active in your body. So the same as parasites, you know, parasites can come from animals, but they can also come from meat. They're, you know, if you're having highly processed foods, there is so much that you're almost feeding the parasites. When you're having a lot of sugars and things like that, you're feeding the parasites. The parasites will lay eggs, and it's like a cycle of life. So for me specifically, some of the reasons why I wanted to do a parasite cleanse was I was feeling very tired. So no matter how long I slept for, I would wake up in the morning and feel tired, feel like, ugh, another day, like I'm just tired, and just it took me time to get in my flow and vibe of the morning. That was one of the reasons. Another reason was my brain fog. I could tell that I wasn't as on the ball and as sharp as what I know that I can be. Another reason was my cravings, lots of sweet cravings, was struggling to eat like actual meals, and I was just wanting to snack all the time. I've never been a massive eater anyway. I'm always sort of like small and often, but I was realizing that I can't even finish meals here. Like I'm really struggling to eat any like quality food. So I could also tell that what my body was going through. Also my bowel movements were not regular. So earlier this year I went and had some colon hydrotherapy. It's amazing. I highly recommend it. It is not painful. It is, you know, I went in Montenegro and they did not speak English. We were using a translator. So if I can do it in English, in a country that doesn't speak English, you can definitely do it in a country that does speak your language or doesn't. But I had 3 sessions on alternate days, and I lost quite a few parasites then. Saw them come out, and it was incredible to see it. It was like, wow, this is actually coming out of my body. That really helped with a lot, but I knew that there was more. I knew I wanted to do even more. So that's also something that can really help prep the body, because you're cleansing the colon. Making sure the colon is empty and working and functioning properly regularly before you dive into a cleanse is also super important. So they were like the main reasons why I wanted to dive into a cleanse. Also just because I hadn't done a parasite cleanse before. So I wanted to just see what it was like. Like, I'm a holistic health coach. I am supporting women every single day with their health, whether that's physically, emotionally, or spiritually. And parasite cleanse is something that a lot of people are speaking about. So I wanted to experience it myself before I can speak to other people about it. I might be trained on it. I might have really understood all about detoxing and knowing how to do it. But I feel like you can learn so much until you do it yourself. That's when you have the real experience. So they were the main reasons why I wanted to go into parasite cleanse. And I am going to do a proper follow-up video when we finish week 7 of exactly how I'm feeling and exactly what like my overview is of the 7 weeks and how it's really been. But I so highly recommend it. Like, if you are having food cravings, you know, we all have our gut microbiome, and for majority of people, majority of the world, our gut microbiome is not going to be in balance. It's not going to be in harmony. And not specifically because you do anything wrong, just because it is really hard nowadays to get high quality food, to be living in a low stress environment. Even if you're like, oh well, I don't have cravings and I don't think I've got brain fog and I'm not really tired, I still highly recommend doing a parasite cleanse. I feel personally you've got nothing to lose. Obviously none of this is medical advice. This is just my personal experience, my views, and the changes that I've seen so far in myself. I cannot even tell you. It's not even physical. There is a part physically, my body has changed a lot, but mine is definitely more in the mind. So much in the mind. And I think that that comes from so many reasons throughout this cleanse, like so many reasons. Like I spoke previously, I've been detoxing the body, making sure my detox pathways are open regularly, whether that is sauna, whether that is dry brushing, whether that is movement. Parasites produce toxic waste. So if you are not making sure your detox pathways are open, and the majority of people that I speak to do not sweat on a daily basis. They do not sweat. And if you're not sweating, then you're not properly opening your lymph system. You're not allowing everything to move. I think a lot of people take for granted, I don't know if take for granted is the right word, but sweating and really knowing, like emotionally as well, physically, spiritually, the act that that has on the body when you are opening those pathways and you are properly sweating, that is getting out so much. I know emotionally for me how much that really supports me as well. I'm definitely feel like I'm more like stable at the minute. I definitely feel like I'm not having the same bloating. I'm definitely not as tired. I'm definitely not having the same cravings. My bowel movements are still a little bit up and down in terms of they are now regular, but with the supplementation and stuff that we're taking, sometimes they are many times a day. Sometimes it's just once a day. I'm really respecting and honouring this process and knowing that it is a process, and to trust that my body is just really flushing out everything that it needs to. And like I said, I will dive into this a little bit more when I do a recap video of the whole 7 weeks and how I really feel on the other side of going through this cleanse, because I know for me, I didn't see many people speaking and really sharing in real life what, like they speak about what is a parasite cleanse, what should you take, but I've documented it. So probably every 1 to 3 days I do a little clip in the morning, just sharing how I'm feeling, what I'm experiencing, and once we're finished I will put that all together and upload that as one video into YouTube. And then I will also upload a overview video of exactly like how my body's changed, what I've really felt, what we've used, what's been really helpful. We are also, our protocol that we've got that I've put together, that is going to be available. So if you would like a little bit more guidance, again, not medical advice, you should always take responsibility for your own health when you are going through something like this, but we can support from our first-hand experience. This isn't just something we're doing online. This has been something like trial and error. We're not just taking some protocol. We are, let's try this. Okay, that didn't really work. Let's stop this. Now let's try this. That's what you need to do. You need to really have that connection to your body and understand that this is so much more than I just want to cleanse my body of parasites. This goes so deep. Like, our cells are everything. If our cells are clogged up and everything's not working properly, there is no longevity. We have a choice of how we choose to live our life. And it doesn't mean that, you know, these past 5 weeks have been very intense and we haven't gone out for any food. Like, we went into the shopping centre the other day and just walking past all the restaurants, and it's like, wow, like you really start to notice, similarly to what I said about the perfumes, where when I'm having the perfume, it was like, you know, using it, you don't really notice it. When you stop using it, you're like, wow, it like smacks you in the face. And it's the same with this food. Like, of course you notice the smells and stuff like that. That's the first part of how your digestive system works, is by the smells and the scents. But especially when you're not having it, you really notice like the difference, like your senses are really, really heightened. So that is a little bit of an overview of why we chose to go into Parasite Cleanse and some of the top things that you should do to prepare your body when you are going into a cleanse. About just under 2 weeks to go. Yep, just under 2 weeks, around 2 weeks to go until we're fully finished. So I'm really looking forward to coming back and giving a full overview of, the real difference, the real changes, and my top tips for going through it.
I have a mailing list. Would you believe it? And that mailing list is where I provide all exclusive, uncensored information, wisdom, tools, free resources, invitations. All the kind of basic stuff. And I realized what I have to offer often gets me pulled off social media. So the only way I can give you this direct source of wisdom is on the mailing list.
Shut your mouth. Or have you?